Hello, welcome to Dun Girls Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today we're reviewing the 2019 horror drama film, Midsommar. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes, directed by Ari Aster. Music by Bobby Critic. Starring Florence Pugh as Danny, Will Poulter as Mark, Jack Reynor as Christian, William Jackson Harper as Josh, and that's pretty much it for the film. So Kevin asked me to review this film, and I think he asked me to review it to trash it, because this movie, I really hated this film. And I knew the movie sucked. I don't give a shit what anybody said, because I had heard I had the movie spoiled for me. So this movie review is just gonna be analysis of the film. So if you don't want any spoilers, 3 out of 10. Okay, 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 for the Luciferians that fucking made this film, because there's a lot of Luciferian shit in this film for a movie that's like supposed to be a pagan cult. I know assholes. I know enough about Norse mythology to know when you're making up shit and you're like trying to make, like, you know, you replace like Norse gods with Luciferian bullshit. Right. So the story for the film is basically the main character of the film, Danny, who is who's a college student dating this guy who's also he's like a psych major or whatever. I don't know fucking college bullshit. He's in school for psychology, right? So like she's a very clingy girlfriend, constantly, and there's some feminist bullshit in this film, which I think why it got good reviews, right? Where she's a clingy girlfriend, constantly depends on her boyfriend, and her boyfriend is thinking of dumping her, but gets stuck with her when her sister ends up killing herself and her family, which I think, in my opinion, I think that whole thing was orchestrated by the Swedish friend Pelle, because he has a crush on Danny and wants to take Danny away from Christian, right? In my opinion, that's what I think was going on. That her sister's death and her parents' death was orchestrated by Pelle, because Pelle is trying to sabotage Christian and Danny's relationship and steal Danny away from Christian, right? So like what happens is Pelle, who's the Swedish guy, who's part of this pagan Luciferian hippie commune, tricks his friends who are psych majors into going to Sweden to join their Midsommar, which the Midsommar is a thing. What they're doing is not. Midsommar, like, you know, a festival that they're having at this hippie commune, right? And you have this thing where Josh is there because he's really into, like, you know, Norse mythology stuff. He's writing a paper on it. He's writing a thesis, and you need to write a thesis to graduate, right? And Christian, who has been a good guy through most of the film, decides to also write a thesis on the hippie commune, right? And Mark is there just to get laid, which he ends up pissing on their sacred dead tree, which nobody warned him about, and ends up getting killed. Which all the outsiders pretty much get killed one by one, except for Danny, right? That's another problem I have with the film. Because our characters are so stupid. They see one of their ceremonies where they kill off, and they implied this early on in the film, that they kill off the members of this hippie commune after they turn 72, right? So you see these two old people jump off a cliff. The lady dies. Her face is caved in from a rock. The old man falls, breaks his leg, and they finish him off with a wooden hammer. And the violence in this film is pretty graphic, and there's also graphic nudity, right? There's graphic nudity. There's a scene. There's also a thing where like one of the girls, I think her name's played. I think she's played. Her name is Maya. Performs magic spells on Christian, trying to get him to bang her, right? And they end up drugging him, which everybody does drugs in this movie. So if you're somebody who doesn't do drugs or does drugs and likes seeing psychedelic drugs being used in films, this is a good film for you because there's a lot of that stuff, right? Which I think is really dumb, because there's a scene earlier on in the film where they give Danny mushrooms, and she's fucking still grieving from the death of her family. Why the fuck? I don't do drugs and I know enough. Hey, you don't give somebody psychedelic drugs when they're emotionally unstable, because that will lead to bad trips, right? For fuck's sakes, right? So like, Christian ends up getting drugged and having sex with Maya. Danny sees this because she becomes the May Queen. Sees this, and then they do human sacrificing at the end of the film, and they basically have she sacrifices her boyfriend, and then he gets burnt along with the other sacrifices, right? Which had already been killed, and their skins are stuffed with straw. Right? That's another problem what I have with the film is all the characters are really fucking dumb, right? They disappear one by one, and they don't think that there's anything wrong going on. And you see Josh goes in to take pictures of their sacred manuscript, right? And he sees a guy who's obviously not Mark, because Mark's a skinny guy, right? Right? So he sneaks off at night to take pictures of their sacred book, and he sees like a guy basically wearing the face mask of Mark and confuse it for Mark, which makes no sense because Mark is like a skinny dude and this is like a pretty thick dude. So it's like, that was really dumb, right? Also, for people who think I'm I'm wrong about the satanic bullshit. One, they worship this thing called the sun, the Father, and they keep calling it the Sun. Sun worship is basically another form of Luciferian. Because Lucifer, which is the devil's name when he was an angel, means light, right? So sun worship is just a cover for Luciferian bullshit. And then there's the sacred temple where they sacrifice the people, right? Is also shaped like a pyramid. So that's like Illuminati bullshit. Right? So it's like a lot of Luciferian bullshit in this fucking film. Right? And then there's the fact that they sacrificed and killed the one dude, and his name is at the end of the film, and his name is Christian. Wow, I wonder what that could mean. And there's also the feminist bullshit where the chick who's felt like she was always too clingy, too dependent on her boyfriend, kills him at the end of the film and feels liberated, right? So you have the whole feminist female liberation at the end of the film as well. So this movie is very layered with its subversion. Subversive bullshit. So is there good things about the film? Yes. It's shot beautifully. Lots of good actors in the film. The music, I guess, was good, but yeah, it's a very subversive piece of shit film. And art house retards would love it. Fuck you. This is a 3 out of 10. Uh, that's it for this review, guys. Did I forget anything? I don't know. Also, I forgot to mention, I saw the new Nicolas Cage movie, Prisoners of Ghostland. Not sure if I'm going to do a review for it. I thought it was just okay. Yeah. I think it's worth watching, but like, you know, if you're a Nick Cage fan, but like, yeah, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. But that's it, guys. Peace.